piece of music that he wrote where the last four notes spell out his name, Bach. So he did it so that it is B flat A C B at the end, and that's Bach. So I looked up um, musical cryptographs. It's mostly classical music, I think, where um, different composers put their signature in their song by using the notes of their name at the end. So I thought maybe we could try that. Like
So
with this,
you add a signature in the song that has the notes in.
using, yeah, using your name, like
Uh-huh.
it would be like Valerie, VAL, and then we would look up for the notes that are, I don't know how you find it, but I think I can find it somewhere where there's notes that are relative to your.
Hi Valerie. Hi Camille. So we're here today at in Culver City. Naomi's going to be giving Valerie a facial. There she is. There's Naomi.
So I'm getting ready to have my facial done by Miss Naomi. So I'm excited.
And we'll see you after.
Okay.
How was your facial?
My facial was very relaxing. Um, I think I fell asleep and I actually snorted. So I actually snorted. So Naomi said, I must be doing something right because I was like very relaxed. So yeah, she's very good.
What did do you know what she did?
She did like on the card it said basic facial.
Mm-hmm.
So she took off whatever makeup that I had on, and then she did a cleanser, and then she did a second cleanser, and then she did like this exfoliant, and like she painted it on me. So like when I first felt it, I was like, ooh, what is that? Because it's kind of gelatinous, and so she put that on me, and then she did steam for about 5 minutes or so, and then another exfoliant, and then the warm towel that wraps your face, and then she like pressed certain areas and wiped everything off, and it smelled like lavender. It was nice. And
Well,
then
you look glowing.
yeah, so it was like all these different steps, about 8 different steps. It was like sprayed like a mist all over, and then finally the moisturizer at the end. So I'm ready to go to sleep, y'all.
So things are more expensive now.
Yeah, I do think it's more difficult to like follow your dreams because no one's getting paid to follow their dreams.
So you think that our generation, because we were told to get a degree and get a job, that we feel like our kids should be able to choose what they want to do so that they could be happy, more than being forced to like go pursue a stable job?
I think what kids are not being taught is how to be strategic in how they choose a career path. It's either get a degree so you can get a job, but it's like, well, what kind of degree? What is the economy? What is the future economy going to need that I should prepare for?
Mm-hmm.
I think. And then not everyone can be an NBA player or a famous superstar or TV actress or whatever. So those people who follow their dreams and they have all these hopes and then it doesn't happen, then they're left out ill prepared.
Ladies, good? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good. What about you, Camille?
Oh, I kind of forgot the topic.
She's like, I'm not listening.
No, I'm listening, but I just forgot already.
Like, what is your incentive for the future and your goals?
I don't have goals, and I don't have a plan for the future.
And why do you think that?
Because the one plan that everyone told me to have didn't work out, and I never had a plan for myself.
Which one is that?
Basketball. Become a WNBA player, play overseas, like that's not happening. And that's kind of what I've been told this whole time as my dream or as like the thing to do. So now I just don't have anything in mind that I necessarily want to do because I didn't really have a choice, in my opinion, when I was younger.
Is basketball a dream that you see for yourself, or is that something you feel like you've been kind of led towards?
I'm unsure. Like, I'd like to fully believe that it was something that I wanted for myself, but it was also just so ingrained that things are just so ingrained in me that I don't even know at this point whether it was my thoughts, whether they are my thoughts to continue basketball or play, or whether it was like my uncle or dad's like influence on everything. Because it's been so long and it was so consistent. Like I can't tell the difference between my thoughts and theirs.
Yeah, interesting.
I feel like that's definitely something that like everyone relates to, like everyone
Your
around
age.
their age like relates to. And that's what I was talking about, where I'm like, every decision I make is like externally. For some reason, like it's an external factor that makes me make the decisions that I make. Like it's not really, like yeah, it's things that I enjoy, but I'm not doing it necessarily just because I enjoy it. I'm doing it because I don't know. There's some about making money at the end of the day. Like, it's kind of cynical, but I feel like that's just how our generation is, where it's like, you guys, I think for you guys, there's like the boomers who are here, right? Yeah. And they're the hard workers, they're the stoic ones, they're never home, like, you know, they're always working, and then they tell you that you need to do the same. So you guys come and have like bigger dreams and aspirations to just like be creative and just do other things other than work all the time. And I think when I like observe like people your ages, I do see how you guys are like, even the generations that you come from, like the 80s and the 90s, like those are some super, super creative times, just like in history. Like I think everyone can agree that the 80s and 90s were very like colorful.
That might be a biased opinion.
Maybe it is a biased opinion because I was but no, really, when you look back at just even like the clothing style, the outfits, like a lot of things were like more colorful. Like if you look at our style now, everyone's very like toned down, neutrals, like we don't really wear colors anymore, patterns, nothing crazy. Everything's just like more uniform. But I just do notice that like you guys have these ideas and like I guess aspirations. Is that a word? Yeah. That are like bigger, and you guys are always like.
And I feel like it seems like you think that it's easier. Like yeah, maybe easier because there's less for us specifically like discrimination like in our time, and we have more access to everything. So it kind of seems like there's more of that expectation since you know like you technically already have it made. Like that's what I've been told a lot. Like you already have it made. You're going to a private school. You're getting the education. Like you have it made. You should be able to get any job you want. Like do whatever you need. Like whatever high paid job that you want, you should be able to get since you like have all the resources.
So is it stifling in a sense our need to our drive towards these aspirations and us wanting better for you? Is it almost stifling or is it
I think for me personally, I've always like admired like a lot of like how your generation is more the go-getters, where it's like you want to do something, you just do it. I admire that a lot, and I feel like it's something that I've always wanted to live up to, but I think the times are just different, and I don't think that people are as, in a lot of ways people are more open-minded, but then like at the same time people aren't really that open-minded anymore, where it's just like I don't know, people aren't as creative anymore. Like you guys don't have this like social media and things like that like kind of causes people to conform to like this one look or like one way of being. Where it's like people think that they're being more creative, but everyone's like consuming the same exact thing. Like at every moment, every day, everyone's trying to be the same exact thing. There's like one standard where it's like you guys didn't have to look at like every single other person on the planet and see what every single other person is doing.
We had like little bubbles all over the place.
So it's like little cultures like within like a bigger like community. And for us it's like just one giant culture and like community where it's like we don't have that much diversity, I guess, when it comes to creativity anymore. And it kind of puts you in a box. I think it puts us more into a box where everyone's conforming, and then when you try to be like a non-conformist, it's like kind of looked down upon. You know what I mean? Where I think that's what the disheartening part is. Like, you want to do bigger things, and you want to be bigger, but like when you look at everyone else and you see how everyone's the same, you're like, how? It kind of like your self-esteem kind of like goes down. It's like, how am I going to be any different than everyone else? Like it seems like I'm just going to do the same thing as everyone else. I don't know.
I know what you mean. The world's so big now, but it's so small because the internet has made everyone connected.
And then, Google and all these other companies control like the content that you consume.
Yeah.
So it puts you even like more into a box of like,
what they're controlling.
You have more information and you think you have more control over that information, but other people are, it's still ads, like it's still like capitalism and stuff, and they're still trying to influence the way you think about everything. So it's hard to like get out of
That was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Both of them were kind of confused about what their future holds because they weren't sure if their decisions were based on their own feelings or their parents' feelings. So it's almost like where we were trying to give them the freedom to choose, it kind of backfired to the point where they have so much freedom. We give them so many ideas and influences to try to pave their path that they don't know if it's their path or our path. So
Yeah, we give them so many choices and expose them to so much. Or in the case of my children who were introduced to competitive sports at a very early age, and they've been playing competitive sports for over 10 years. And then they're coming of age as young adults. My daughter, she's playing in college, but my son, he doesn't know if he wants to play in college. And so what my daughter is talking about is that her coach, and who's also her uncle, he used to tell her, oh, you're gonna play ball in college and then go play overseas and be in the WNBA. He was so like passionate about that dream that she kind of like took on that dream as her dream. And like now that's not really my dream, or is it my dream? It's not going to happen. So what is my dream? And it seems that a lot of kids these days, I don't know, they kind of don't know where they're going. And I remember feeling that way, but there were just certain things that I knew that I was passionate about. And which brings me to a new segment that I heard is that Will Smith was even talking about, it's an idea called the parenting paradox. And it's when you take away adversity for kids, you take away the quote unquote, the bacteria, which makes a person strong and resilient. It's like when they don't have adversity, they don't know how to fight against hard times or indecision, or they don't know how to deal with it. In a sense, I kind of feel like that's what I did with my kids to a point. And like I was telling you earlier, like with the whole timeout strategy, it takes longer to get the child to comply, but eventually they comply. And I think it's similar with how we raised our kids. It's like they stay kids longer, and it takes longer for them to be ready to take on the real world. Like, whereas we at 16, 17, we were like, let's get going. I want to get a job. We're ready to go. Yeah. So a lot of things kind of ignite passion in people. And I would, and adversity is a good motivator for certain people. It's not a guaranteed motivator, because look at all the people that are going through adversity and they stay mired in their adversity. And the same with people who have everything. You have some that continue to build upon their advantage, and then you have others who they're just like, they're apathetic about it. So I think it's something, I don't know, it's something within. I wonder if it's something that you're born with, nature or nurture, passion.
I guess, I feel like you're born with it, because my love of music doesn't have anything to do with anything my parents said. I know they both pushed me to learn music, but not really to pursue it as a career. So.
Right. Mine neither. I mean, they weren't interested in it. I mean, aside from just listening to music, but they didn't want to dance. They weren't my father. The only thing that the connection is, like my father, when he was a teenager, he would do the doo-wop groups when he was on the corner, because that was the thing to do. He would doo-wop on the corner in Chicago.
Did he record it?
No, just kids, hanging out on the corner singing doo-wop. So, but there's been singers in my family, but we haven't really, we have not been trained. There's always been the passion, but never like that serious training. I woke up this morning and, you know how you just lay in bed before it's time for you to get up? And I didn't feel like getting up to meditate, because it's like something that you got to do, right? Something that you got to do. So I'm just laying there, and I just let my mind just kind of wander. And then I just started brainstorming. And so a couple of lines came to mind. And so I grabbed my notebook and I just start word association, just writing stuff down for that song. So I haven't looked at it since I did it this morning, So, but it gives me a jumping off point.
Can you say some of it? Some of your brainstorms?
Let's see. Okay, so the first line that came to mind was, I have no recollection of what I dreamed about last night, but there's a whisper of a picture that's burned upon my mind. And then from there, I just start straight word association. I was like, I have no recall, looking back, watch my back, no memory, just static, black and white, no color, Crayola rainbow, no pot of gold at the end. So my sins I wash in I can't even read my writing. So my sins I wash, in a river of tears, but not just mine. Ancestors cry, smile, walk miles for freedom, for joy, so happy I made it. But have I? Is my prison self-made, self-inflicted wounds? Internalized, I cry inside, no tears dry. Minutes pass, hours, years. So and then I said, how do I decelerate? Foot to pedal, pedal to floor. Screeching of metal, nails to chalk, board, rattles brain. And it's a baby's game all the same. I'm coming at you at the speed of life. Moving at the speed of life, faster than a Formula One, than a bullet shot out of a gun, than a rocket ship up to the moon, past Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. So I don't know what the story is going to be, but
I like it so far.
it's just words that just kept pouring out. So I just wrote them down before. You know how you have thoughts and then you're like, oh, like I'm especially like in the shower, I'll have like some thoughts. And then by the time I get out the shower,
They're gone.
They're gone.
That's how it is for me when I'm driving, like when I'm stuck in traffic, and then I'll get a bunch of ideas and I'll start like rhyming it like you just did. And then it's like, oh, I like that. But then by the time I stop and I can write it down, then I forget. Sometimes I'll try to record it.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes I forget.
Yep. So how, you know what, I would rather be where you are because it looks like it's really nice and sunny and bright.
I'll tell you where I am. So I'm in Culver City right now, and that's the Culver Studios. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's the Culver Studios, and then they just built this little shopping, like just a relaxing coffee area, and then there's a little place where I can plug my computer in, and there's restaurants and coffee.
Some natural background.
Yeah, so they've got the movie theater here, which it looks like it's closed down for now.
Mm-hmm.
But across the street, there's a bunch of restaurants we could try. There's a Jamaican place across the street. And yeah, just all kinds of stuff over here.
Wow.
Right on, I'm sure you've been here before. It's Washington and Culver. And they just built this area out. And I think behind me here is the Amazon Studios. So I think this is the Culver Studios and then the Amazon Studios where they do the films. And
so it's like a campus.
Yeah, they're filming something over here, and I think it's for Disney because I saw Buena Vista trucks.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of an exciting little area.
Yeah, looks nice.
Well, I'm Lea.
And I'm Val.
And we are
Middle-aged moms making
music. So please
subscribe.